Welcome to Behind the Claw. We will be picking up where we left off last week. These guys are on a Calypso class lab ship known as the Calendula, and they've discovered all sorts of stuff. It is owned by a third party named Scientific Charters. They were hired by Lasani Laboratories, a pharmaceutical company, and because they had lost contact with the ship. And so they hired the travelers to go up and figure out what was going on, offering them um, quite a bit of money. On the low end, it was not overly fantastic, but on the high danger side, that reward uh, ends up being equal to a ton of money, and but it would be paid in the form of augments to the travelers, and uh, and so it really doesn't cost Lasani anything out of pocket, and it keeps the whole activity on the down low. During the course of their investigations, they found another traveler aboard, in waking up uh, in a low berth that had been moved aboard from another ship known as the Willow Dawn, and they are just about to discover what the logs are behind all of that, and that's where we'll be picking up. They do know that there has been a number of um, pharmaceuticals. They were apparently Lasani was apparently using the Calendula to basically work on new combat drugs. They have military contracts with the Third Imperium, and so these drugs evidently were released into the atmosphere of the ship, and they did their damage before they could be scrubbed from the atmosphere, and so there are some hyped up individuals all across the ship. They've already had to kill two of them, and the lab animals have escaped, and they're all bulked up, and so it's a good time. Before we get started, we would like to point out that we do have a merch store via Zazzle. We've got T-shirts and hoodies and buttons, and we've got whiskey rocks glasses and beer steins. There's all sorts of stuff over there, and 100% of the proceeds from that store helps us out. Goes back into the channel, helping us out with subscriptions like Roll20 Pro or Incarnate Pro, that all seem to gang up on us at the beginning of every month. And so, if you are enjoying the show and you want to help us out, the whiskey rocks glasses are actually really cool. I really like them. So if you want to help us out, go get yourself a Whiskey Rocks glass, and we appreciate everything that you do for us. We also, for the Halloween season, there is a 50% off sale. If you play Castles and Crusades or Old School Essentials, the Braunhaven campaign setting, all of the PDFs, digital format, is all 50% off right now over on Drive Through RPG. And so there is the newest adventure, which is a mini campaign one off. It can go as long, really, as you'd like, between 2 sessions to 10, really. You could drag it out. It's called the Town on the Edge of Shadow, and it is a pretty good horror themed campaign. So perfect for the Halloween season, and it is 50% off through November 2nd. All right, so you guys, if I remember correctly, you were waiting for Zerzy to finish getting hacking in and getting full access. Is that right? Hey, he's back. Sweet.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were waiting for the program to finish running.
Right. Remind me, what was the program doing?
I was getting essentially full access to every system on the whole station.
So, Zvart and Audrey, you can both make Recon plus Intellect checks.
Recon.
Poor Audrey.
Not observant.
All right.
Oh,
So Svart got it. So, um, Svart, you
maybe I got rid of all my low rolls already.
maybe yes. So in this amount of time, Svart, if you remember, there was movement in. I want to say this area. Yes,
24.
in 24, and over the core, and you guys have locked these two iris valve doors. But in that period of time, you note that this guy, whoever's in here, according to the motion sensors that are still working on the ship, leaves this room and goes down to quadrant 4. Quadrant is up here, and kind of spends some time in here. This is listed as, what is it? It doesn't want to tell me.
Main lab.
It just, yes, main. Yes, this is the main lab. Spend some time in here. I mean, you haven't been over to quadrant 4 yet, and the entire quadrant is nothing but laboratory. It is huge. It's essentially like over here where the auxiliary laboratory was. It's like that, but huge, and it takes up that entire quadrant. He spends some time over there, and then you see him and you're just watching this blip on the motion sensors move back to 24. On your 11,
he has food in the main lab.
possibly, but
another body.
right, possibly, but it is.
So after I notice that, I reload my revolver.
Okay. According to the computer that is monitoring the movement, it has registered his ID via essentially biometrics, DNA, and it is registering as Harris Slocum, the astrogator of the Calendula.
Not good. He's got a spiked club.
Yes. And so I mean,
Just tell you the right way. He's not saying it anymore.
Yeah, the computer's registering that this is from Harris. That this individual moving about is Harris Slocum. During at the end of this time, your Xerxes program finally, the agent finally cracks through the last of the firewall, and you get full access. And the first thing that comes up, kind of, the computer is listing it as priority because there is, and not your computer. The computer of the Calendula is listing it as a priority due to a breach in security. And this is a series of basically off-grid communications from the Calendula to...
How we found the spy.
They are registered as off-grid or off-network communications, basically, that were not recorded by the main communications console of the Calendula, but they were sent from room 24 to planet side of Iterati. And they were the recipient was registered, his mobile comm was registered as that being owned by a rival corporation called Butler Chemicals. And excuse me, these communications were large packets. So it was more than just comms or even video. There were attached files that were sent with it.
I wonder what he's living on. body
The food
parts.
from the cafeteria.
Yes.
I mean, do you guys want to go deal with room 24 real quick, or what do you guys? What's the game plan?
Oh, I'm
Well,
scared.
We think
I
we
wanna-
found our spy.
Well,
Do we want to do anything about it or just let him crash in 14 days?
Right.
I mean, technically, it's going to crash in 14 days on its current course. That could always be adjusted. I mean,
So, I mean, my question
I mean,
is, so
Too bad we can't
Well-
turn the retro rockets on and deorbit this thing faster.
well, I mean, he has full access now. If you guys want, if you guys want to make the piloting check, you certainly could. But my question is, so initially, I was under the impression that you guys wanted to break into the computers, and so you've gotten this priority one security information. That kind of is a sticking point with the computer at the top of the list. Is there anything else that you want? That's going to be up to you. But my impression was that you were going to get into the computers, look around, and then you wanted to make a call to Dalglee down on Iterati and confirm or try to renegotiate your terms.
yeah. So basically, I want to spend a little bit of time. I want to do a couple of things to kind of cover my ass in case when I call and want to renegotiate, if he goes for the nuclear option, I want to have an ace in the hole. So I'm going to take all the information we've gathered, and I'm going to send it to take. I'm gonna,
So
like I said, take time.
you did send all of your information to one of the Scander's shuttles.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I'm going to do it against the second scanner shuttle, but that one I want to have it coded in a way so if I don't deactivate it in like 24 hours, it's going to send all this information to the news and to the military.
So you're doing a dead man.
You're
thing.
ruthless.
Yes.
Good. Make a electronics. Whoever wants to help with this can, but in this case, you'll want to make an electronics comms plus intellect or education check. And I will grant you a +1 bonus to that because you are already in with the agent.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has comms; they can assist too.
I have 0.
That might be better. If he's at a -3 and you get a +1 to that, so
I have
And intellect.
electronics.
And intellect. Can I use intellect?
intellect or education, your choice.
So normally I'm at -3, but then
Mhm.
+1 because of computer, +1 for computer access. So it'd be at -1 then.
Yeah. And I'm at +2.
Okay. So
And I get a 10.
Yeah. Okay. So Svart helps
Yeah,
out
thanks.
and sets that up,
Mhm.
and so in 24 hours, if it does not receive a comm from you, it will transmit that data to basically upload it to the world network, Iterati system network, and basically bounce it directly to all local media stations. And to, if I remember, I gotta look.
The,
I want to
the
say that Iterati had a.
Imperial Marines.
I want to say that Iterati had a naval base, don't they?
you said it had a military.
Yes.
A large military base.
They have a large naval base, and they will be CC'd on that on that message. So
Now, before I do any kind of intense negotiations here, is there anything we want to do on this space station before then? Because if it goes good, I want to get off the station as quick as possible. If it goes bad, I want to get off the station as quick as possible.
Well, the raft is pretty close.
yeah, it's just around the corner.
I want to say, is there anything else we want to do on here? Because I don't see us ever coming back to the station.
So
Audrey wants to leave as soon as possible.
So so every week I kind of go through.
Mommy, I want to leave.
So every week I kind of go through before we play it just to refresh me, and I went to the end of this, and it's like, ending Death Station, and it's like basically it ends when the characters decide it's time to go. But
Sweet.
there are some caveats and addendums to that of how much of the reward are they going to get. So this phone call that you're going to make will kind of determine some of that.
I mean, I kind of let them decide if they want to do anything else, and while I'm preparing for this very exciting for this old diplomat, get into a nice good
Good
diplomatic
negotiation,
challenge.
yes.
I'm gonna use my computer to kind of like get some PowerPoints ready and stuff, so that way, in case I'm failing the negotiation, I could be like, "Well, here's a screenshot of your email saying this," to
Right.
kind of help in any way possible, because I'm not gonna be super greedy about wanting money, but I do believe that just getting a neural jack and 12,000 credits is not worth the shit we've had to deal with.
Oh, you're essentially getting like 62,000 credits in cash and merchandise, and that's not enough. I mean, each of you is getting that. I mean, you might actually want to try to part of this negotiation. So Audrey wasn't a part of that. So part of that negotiation might be dovetailing Audrey in on this too.
Yeah, especially since she was unknown kidnapped.
Right.
Unknowingly kidnapped.
So my
Oh,
original plan is. Oh, go ahead.
There is another piece of information that your agent brings up, and it's priority item number 2. So, and I need to, let me find. Yes. You've already met this individual. According to the logs. According to the logs, the decision was made by Dr. Hollow Ezram. She was kind of the lead scientist on all of this. And the decision was made at kind of... the other scientists aboard the Calendula, it was under duress. But she was the head scientist, and she made the decision to move the combat drug testing into the SOFONT testing stage, so basically human test trials. And everybody else, there are numerous objections listed to this. In doing that, she didn't put out a call for clinical volunteers or anything like that. She hired a mercenary company to go out and basically capture a ship and bring everybody aboard, or bring everybody to the Calendula. And this mercenary company did that. And this ship that was captured was called the Willow Dawn. And it already had a series of passengers in low passage that were in Lowbirds. All but one of them had already had testing done on them. In all cases, they were testing number 1103.
Is that the one where they die within 3 days?
Yes, that's the one. Exactly. That would be it. This one. And all of them died. They had not gotten the chance to open the final. They were going to make some tweaks to it and had high hopes. And Audrey evidently was the last one before, the combat drug hit the fan. Literally, that's what happened. It hit the air intakes and spread throughout the ship. So, in addition, these mercenaries basically came. They got paid by Dr. Ezram, and they dropped off these kidnapped people to be human guinea pigs, or in this case, Verger guinea pigs, and then the mercenaries left with their ill-gotten gain. And the third item on the list, it's basically from the environmental computer, and it is basically the life support system is registering that the explosion in the auxiliary laboratory, it registers there was an explosion from an unknown source. It then also states that essentially all of these drugs, 1067, 1077, 1079, 1101, and 1103, all due to this explosion were released into the intake system. And they kind of mixed together and were in the intake system for a good 2 to 3 hours before the atmosphere scrubbers could clean the system out. Now, of course, by the time you had shown up, that was already done dead. The air was already scrubbed clean. But anybody that was aboard would have been affected by those chemicals. And the listing for the life support computer, it's you note that Dr. Ezram did a cross reference with the life support computer to the auxiliary lab computers, wanting to get an estimate from the system to know what the likely outcome of that would be. And the computer's likely outcome, it suggested that they would probably all die. But it basically listed death as being like a 52% chance. The rest of it, unknown.
Oh, well, if that got to the news, it would deal huge damage to the corporation.
Yes, true.
Yeah, but also big corporations have big pockets, and if things go bad, we're probably going to get killed. Let's be honest here.
Well, yeah, I mean,
they're going to send mercenaries after us.
Right.
Yeah, the corporate assassins.
That's kind of what you're looking at. I mean, Glenn already knows how some of this goes when I break out the corporate security forces, because he's had to deal with fucking General Development Corporation for 5 fucking years. So he knows that if I really want to break out the corporate security forces, they could get rather nasty.
So, my original offer to them is just going to be purely a cash offer, just to make it easier. Make it so we each make a pretty penny, and then we can just go and get our own neural links and all that kind of stuff, because I don't really want to go into the knife from a corporation that was able to do this, and who knows what they'll do to us when we go into the knife to put those neural links in.
Oh, are you suggesting I would implant a Cortex bomb? That's not... I would never do something like that.
I don't know what that is, but sure.
It's a little pea-sized explosive in the base of your skull.
Any objections to that, Spart?
Nope.
If instead of you getting a neurojack and
I'd rather spend 2 weeks recovering on my own ship than in their hospital.
That could be awkward. Yes.
Especially after this. Good God. This guy must have known something was going on.
I mean, yeah, probably. I would agree.
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
I've worked for a number of Fortune 500s, and it is honestly amazing at how little the higher-ups actually know about what's going on.
Oh, God, yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. You're like, dude, you are the head of the division. How did you not know about this? Well, I'm not caught up on my emails for like 5 weeks. It happens.
Oh, dear.
I work for Lockheed Martin.
Yeah, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah, I worked for another company that doesn't exist anymore called BDM. we had a contract with the Department of Energy to build them an integrated database for energy waste management. You know, the lakes with the two-headed frogs
Right,
and
yes.
snakes. And we also, and the other part of our team had a contract to make sure we didn't integrate the database.
So you're working across odds. That's awesome.
And we would have meetings, and one side would, I would propose these database design for the integration. The other team would fight me. That went to the vice president, and asked him if he thought, well, you're in a conflict of interest. And he said, no.
No, we want both teams to keep doing their job as long as somebody's cutting us checks. You know,
It's what he said. As long as we're getting checks to do both things, I don't care.
there's the moral ambiguity of capitalism right there.
All right.
I nearly cried, and I started looking for a new job.
No shit. Yeah, you don't want to be walking out one day and get caught by the reporters in the fucking parking lot. Do you know anything about that? No, I know nothing.
No comment.
No comment. You're right.
And then to make matters even more interesting, one of the teams that had a contract to fight us, I figured out that their main programmer was working on the side as a realtor during office hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow.
He was charging the government to do programming and making money as a realtor at the same time, which is, go to jail for 5 years and pay $25,000 fine.
Right.
And, we had to fire him.
Jesus.
It was such a great place to work.
Kept you laughing.
The B and D in the name had been secretaries of defense.
Oh shit. So, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they didn't know this stuff was going on.
Right. Yeah. Nobody knows. The right hand never knows what the left hand is doing, and don't even bother asking the nose, even though it's higher up on the body. So what are your guys' plans here?
Do you guys want to do anything else before I start negotiating our pay?
No.
Get me home.
Well, that is the thing. I guess we're gonna hope we can take the raft home.
Well, it's either that or we get Scanner to send a shuttle over.
True. I mean, I have my jetpack on my EVA suit, so I can just hold you guys and just jetpack you away from the station and let the scanner
grab him by the belt and jump. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess I will. Using my computer and my took some time, made some helpful PowerPoints to help out. I will give.
You'd be really good at PowerPoint. You need some help. I made a living at it.
I'll make a call to the what is it? The BWOP guy?
Yes, his name is Dalglee Hahsh.
All right. Yeah, I give him a call.
Okay. And so it rings, over to his mobile comm, and his image comes up. He says, "Oh yes, good. So I take it that it was just a minor issue with the comms array, and you have fixed it. That's how you were contacting me. Yes."
No.
Let's just say there's been a lot of things happening up here. You're gonna need some new crew, I'll be honest. But good news, station's okay. The the comms is good. And for the sake of ease, I can send you some of the information that we've seen up here. We're gonna want to have a little bit of a adjustment in our pay, though. There's a lot of hazard pay up here, so I've ended up having to get another crew member. So instead of the original offer of 62,000 per person, me and my friend Svart here, I'm gonna ask for 130,000 times 3.
He says, "Well, go into the nature. What kind of problem are we talking about up there?
Well,
You said that I'm going to need new crew members. Well, what happened to the current crew?"
They
well,
died.
the
How do you
current
politely
crew
tell them they died?
essentially went a bit rage-induced cannibalistic by a sabotage attempt by one of your workers up here, which caused an explosion in a lab, which caused a bunch of your your combat drug chemicals to get mixed into the air. Eventually, it was scrubbed out before we got here. But I mean, I can send you the some emails, some photos of your former crew if you'd like.
Hanging in the meat locker.
Unfortunately, the corporate spy that was up here was your leading doctor, Dr. Hollow. They were talking to somebody from Butler Chemicals, sending them lots.
Actually, that's not true. It wasn't. It wasn't the lead
That's the
scientist.
aspirator.
It
was
the astrogator.
the guy
yeah.
who's still alive.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Harris Slocum.
I have so many notes wrote.
Yeah,
He's still on the ship with us.
Yeah, Harris Slocum was the astrogator, and those messages, those off-network messages, came from his quarters, which are registered as Area 24.
Okay, so I can't say it. Anyway, so yeah, the astrogator is actually a corporate spy, and potentially still alive on the ship. We're pretty sure we know which room he's in. Well, there's some sort of life form in there, but every other life form we've ran into has been a killer cannibal that wants to eat our faces off. So
he says, "Oh, so you know about the research that was being done up there?"
Yes.
He says, He says, "Well, this is unfortunate. This is unfortunate indeed." He says, "So, or perhaps it's not unfortunate. Everything that is a misfortune is something that can be considered an opportunity." He says, let me switch to a book here. So you're asking for cash rather than the augment.
Yep, I'd rather just have essentially, what was it 390,000 shipped to me, and then I'll split it 3 ways.
So go ahead and make a diplomat plus social check. Either diplomat plus social or broker plus social. Your choice.
Do I get any help with my PowerPoints?
Yes.
I will send him like pictures of the crew all hanging in the food locker cut up, and
yeah, I'm going to give you a +2 to your dice roll for your PowerPoint presentation and all of the recordings that you have made of the situation up there.
Now I am holding some stuff back because I need to have
I figured. Right.
Yeah. But just a 9.
That is still successful. So he says yes. I think that we can accommodate that. I can understand your position, and I credit you with thinking ahead on that part. He says, of course, you want to protect yourselves, and I can imagine that you would, after learning what you've learned, you're probably a little bit shy about gaining any medical assistance from my corporation. I can understand that, from Lissani. He says, so I can move some funds around, and I would be happy to agree to the 390,000 credits. But in order for me to agree to that, here's my question: have you killed any of the surviving crew members yet?
Yes.
That is unfortunate. Are
But we know of one still
Well,
alive at least.
he says, well,
you could ask for a bounty on him.
And there's 3 others we don't know where they are.
Yeah, so we know what one is, and we're missing the location of 2 or 3 others.
he says, well, if you can secure them, don't kill them. If you can just secure them, I will agree to pay the 390,000.
How the hell do we secure them?
Well, the problem is, as soon as they see you, they get angry, and they start to grow in size and strength, and then try to rip your arms off. And
Your face.
I am merely an old man. I am not suited for combat. How about they're locked on the station, and I can attempt to lock them in rooms, so then you can send up your security or mercs. I don't care what you send up here, and let them deal with it. I'll tell you what, I'll even tell you this. While looking through the files, like I said, the station's secure, even with an explosion happening in the lab. The station has been thrown off of its orbit a little bit, and I know exactly how much it's thrown off, and I can send you that information so you can fix it or have somebody fix it and save this entire station. But we don't want to have to deal with these cannibals again.
So, yes, he says, if you can quarantine them into a particular quadrant, that would be suitable.
I kind of look at Smart. And what do you like? Looking for
So-
what do you think?
So to explain this, so right here, on either side of these, and right somewhere over here, it's not shown on the map, there is an iris valve door. So you know that this guy right now is in area 24. You have full access to the computer. You could lock those 2 doors with a computer lockdown, bypassing any ability that he would have to unlock from either side, and basically trap him here in quadrant number 1, where you are currently at.
Well, we should be able to lock down all those viruses.
Yes, you can.
And lock down everybody when whatever quadrant they're in.
That is correct.
I'll inform him. I'll say we can quarantine them to quadrants. Like I said, currently the one that was the spy is currently in room 24, and I'm sure you have a map of this place. If not, I can send you the one that's up here. So we can have a nice agreement, and we can go about our ways. Like I said, me and my people, we just want to get paid, and we'll forget about everything we've seen up here. I mean, I have some experience in secretive operations, so I get what you have to do.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus social check.
All right. Do I get any bonuses or anything, or no?
No.
11.
Okay.
Ooh.
And he replies, yes. I am aware of why or of your integrity, and I trust you to keep this information to yourself. And the implication of that is that he kind of knew a little bit about you before he even approached you. Now, how much he knows about you and Svart is up in the air. And who knows if he knows anything about Audrey's background. Likely not, because I don't think anybody gave a shit. They didn't. When Audrey was kidnapped with the other people from the Willow Dawn, they didn't really care much whether any of those people lived or died.
Okay.
They were lab rats. That's it. So as far as any background on them, they probably weren't even going to bother to look. Anything beyond the question of is anybody going to come looking for this guy is probably outside of the realm of them caring.
I mean, I'll acknowledge the fact he may somehow know about me. I mean, there are ways of how he would know about me. But I'm just gonna try to stick strictly to business. Be like, so if I can just have the money transferred to my account, we'll take that raft back down to where we saw you, and you can start prepping a boarding party up here to retake this place over.
That would be suitable. As soon as you are groundside, back in the world, you can contact me once again, and I will transfer the funds to your account.
All right, we'll see you soon.
And the screen goes blank. He hangs up.
So, Safari, do you think there's going to be an assassin waiting for us when we land?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. We'll have to land
That's all right.
someplace very public, I think.
I've got my vac suit on,
Me too.
and I've got my ACR.
That's true. You guys are armed to the teeth, so.
And a 3-foot blade.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess I have all the information I need. I've got it sent to 2 places. I've got it on my computer. So I have 3 ways to fuck him over if he really wants to try something. Unless the Empire decides to protect him and kill us instead, which could happen too.
Probably too high profile for the Imperium to send Marines or even special forces in. That would be probably too high profile.
Well, if we're done with this place, let's seal up our vac suits, and I will lock all the iris doors that we need to lock, and we can get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
Yes, let us get out of here.
Okay. So what iris valves are you locking?
All the ones between quadrants.
Every single iris valve except for the only one we need open, which is to get to our life raft.
Okay, so you're locking all of them.
Yes.
Okay. So
because I don't know.
You're going to go C-3PO nuclear option and just shut them all down.
Yeah.
Okay. Shut them all down.
Yes.
Shut down all the garbage disposal.
None of the trash chutes, none of the toilets, nothing works on the Death Star. Because of this paranoid droid.
The last thing I'll do is make sure to revoke all access from any crew member, living or dead, before I log out of the system.
Okay. So
if he logs in, it won't even let him log in.
Okay.
So he can't try to reverse everything.
All right. You have full access to do that. And so you essentially remove their permissions from everything, leaving only your access. And your computer, because you have the portable computer, you could shut the lid, but you remain connected. So you can control this all from your portable.
That may come up eventually, but we're not going to worry about it for now.
Right. So, yeah, you guys make it to the air raft. And who's driving? Wasn't it Sfart?
I think it was Sfart. I don't know.
Unless Audrey has a better
flyer graph.
Unless
I have flyer graph.
Does Audrey have a better flyer graph? Just out of curiosity.
Oh.
I have 0.
No piloting skill.
Okay. So you guys get into the air raft.
It's pilot. It's Grab plus Dex.
Correct.
So I think at least on my screen the air raft handout is broken.
9.
Oh, nice.
It's your air raft is handout is broken.
As in, like,
Well, it has no
picture.
image.
Yeah, it has no image anymore.
Really? That's peculiar. So we ran into a problem last Friday night, and it's weird that it's showing that it's working on my end and that it's not on your end. But let me double check.
I saw the air raft and then I made it disappear
Oh, okay. Hold on, I can.
because I wanted to roll a 9.
It's all right. We'll never use it again. Wink, wink.
No, air raft? Are you kidding me? Where are they there?
I can tell you that's one of the wafers I'm going to get.
Flyer grab, yeah.
Yeah, grav flyer and space small ships pilot and slug 2, melee arm 2.
Well, keep in mind that he just negotiated for cash only, so you'll need to go somewhere
I'll
else.
need I'm sure this is an imperial rule. The rule is Tech 12, isn't it? We can get
Yeah.
We can get a jack here, I imagine.
Maybe I will look.
Have to figure it out.
Now, Spartan Audrey, don't spend all this money at once.
Nope.
There we go. Does it work now?
Yes.
Now it does.
Okay. So yeah, this is the air raft, and Svart definitely gets in and hits the garage door opener, and the bottom of this bay here opens up, and the air raft drops down, and you make your way out past the corpsicle, and takes you about. Well, I mean, getting back can be a lot faster than it was getting up. But Svart rolled a 9 and takes you in the easy way. It only takes you about maybe 30 minutes total getting back because it's a lot easier to just fall, right? And so you quickly make your way back to Iterati groundside at the port. Where are you wanting to set down?
Right next to standard.
Okay, you want to just head for the starport? Okay. So yeah, Svart brings you guys in and kind of aims for the starport. Being careful, of course, and you receive a number of radio communications from the tower warning you off to stay out of the grid because ships are coming and going. Iterati is a rather busy port, being mostly part of the agricultural movement. So there's a lot of freighters coming and going, a lot of official imperial ships coming and going. And of course, the entire system is just lousy with imps all over the place because there's a big naval base here, right? And so Svart, careful to stay out of the pattern, and makes his way to the Star Town and sets you guys down on a city street just outside of the actual starport. It's right where the fade down is from the starport into the well, not the fade down. The fade down would be from the starport in or from the Star Town into regular culture. This is actually right at the edge of the entrance and exit gates of the actual starport into the town, which also happens to be the capital city of Iterati. Who knows what the name is? And so you set them down just fine, just outside the starport. What are you guys doing?
Ring, 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 ring.
You're calling up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you once more call up Dogley, and he answers rather quickly. Yes, yes. So you've locked them down. They cannot escape.
Yep, we're on the ground. We're outside. Insert starport number here, and I'll say we're here with your raft. Uh, come and get it, and make sure to have the electronic payment sent to me.
And he says done, and he sends a message to your mobile comm. And this message comes up. It is essentially a account number and routing number. And he says, I took the liberty of setting up an anonymous account that you can draw the funds from at the local bank here at the starport.
Not really what we agreed upon.
Well, so here's the problem with banking.
Or is that? Or would that be like something normal? I guess.
Yeah, here's the problem with banking. So if you deposit money into a bank here on Iterati and then you jump for Buell, for instance, you are far enough that you wouldn't have access to that money. There's no faster than light. There's no faster than light communications, and so you usually wouldn't have access to that money. Now, you can be given, of course, a credit chit that has a smart chip on it that verifies that the money is available there. And essentially, this works like it's kind of like a prepaid credit card. So this
Okay.
chit would then automatically deduct that amount, and whenever you went to the bank or whatever, it would register on that card that the money has been withdrawn. That's problematic in a number of ways, but that is kind of the only way that banking and long-term loans and finances and all of that is done throughout charted space because there's no faster than light communications. So the other option, of course, is waiting a week for whatever, and this is assuming that you're on an X-boat route, waiting a week or more for the X-boat to arrive and transmit the data that is sent from the bank to a local branch of the bank so that they know that you have these funds available. So there's no real solid fixed way of doing this. So most of the time you're talking about hard currency. And that's what this
Yeah.
is going to allow you to do. You can go to the bank. There's an anonymous account. You just hand them or give them this account number, and tell them how much of this money you want to withdraw, including all of it if you like, and they pay you in cash.
Okay. Well, we'll go do that then.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like a normal thing in game or not because it's the first time playing. But yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
it's like
mean,
a normal, then
yeah, I mean,
my guy wouldn't fuss.
for instance, I mean, of course, like for instance, Scander being a merchant ship, they have lines of credit going all the way back to the Sword Worlds, and they can extend those lines of credit, basically on Magnus Sundstrom's good word to whoever he's doing business with. That having that kind of reputation is difficult, and so yeah, a lot of times. One example is if you put money down and get a loan for a ship, part of your IFF, whenever you pop into a system, part of your IFF immediately broadcasts as part of the information that's sent to back and forth between you and the starport. It tells them how much is left on your loan, when your last payment was, and whether or not you've defaulted. And so that is how they track you for whether or not you have paid your ship mortgage.
Okay.
So it's not an ideal system. But like I said, if you made a payment, that is automatically, whatever port you're in, that is automatically updated to your IFF, and then the next system that you go to says, no, he paid his payment, and he paid whatever late fees. They're fine.
And yeah, I would just after he sent me the number, I would just say okay and hang up and Say, let's go to the bank and get paid,
Okay.
or get killed. One of the two.
So you guys make your way into the starport and to this bank, and it is the First Imperial Credit Union bank, and they have gold star status for their platinum card includes a Traveler's Aid Society membership. Ooh. Apply today.
You guys stay outside in case this is a trap. I'll go in and take all the money when we get back to the ship. I'll give you guys your cut.
All right, we'll wait outside.
Okay.
If I get arrested or anything, just let me go.
You want to
Why
guard?
would you get arrested?
I'm just saying, dealing with a big corp that was doing drug testing on a space station above us, kind of brings the evil vibe.
Well, okay, be careful.
So
Yeah.
So Zerzy goes into the First Imperial Credit Union. Zvart and Audrey, what are you guys? Are you guys just waiting for him to come back out, or are you going back to the ship?
Waiting outside.
Okay.
The
I'm
bank, I
waiting
guess.
outside. I'm waiting outside with my hand on my pistol, my revolver.
Okay. Okay. So Zerzy, you go in. You step up to the teller, and she, of course, asks how she can help you. She's a human woman. Wants to know what she can do for you today.
Good day. I am here merely to withdraw some funds from this account. Actually want to just close it out, take all the money out of it. Here's the accounting information.
So she quickly types in that accounting information, and she says, "Oh, that is a large sum of money." And she says, "Hold on, I'll have to go get approval."
Of course.
And so she steps back and to another desk and kind of quietly in the distance talks to them. And this guy from the desk stands up and he comes over and he says, this is a rather large sum of money. It seems that this money was just deposited in the account, not more than, it was less than an hour ago."
Yes. I work for a merchant cruiser. We were just finishing up some transactions. We're collecting funds and getting ready to move on to the next planet.
He says, "Oh, I see. He says, just for our reference, what merchant ship are you with?"
The Scander.
He quickly cross-references with the Starport Authority, and yet Scander is in port, and he says, "Oh, yes. Seems that everything kind of checks out. In fact, it better than checks out. The ship was just cleared from a enhanced security check." Says, "Oh, yes, it all checks out clear. There were no charges brought." And he says, he kind of gives the clearance, and he tells the teller, he says, "Go ahead and get this gentleman his money." And so she comes out with a cash bag, and it's got a magnetic locking clasp, and she just fills it with Imperial credits, 390,000 worth, and shuts it, and she hands it to you, and she says, all you have to do is hold your thumbprint to the locking mechanism. It'll register your biometric, and then it will only unlock for you.
Okay, I do that real quickly.
And that you've got 390,000 credits.
Okay. Pleasure doing business with you, and I hope you have a lovely day. And I quickly stomp out in my big old HEV suit.
Yeah, you're still wearing your
hand.
HEV suit.
I'll just keep walking.
I imagine Zerzy would look kind of humorous. Just his bearing and how he holds himself walking around in a HEV suit. He's got his gloves off and tucked into a belt, and his helmet's off. But other than that, he probably walks like a sheep on his hind legs.
I won't even say anything to Svart and to Audrey. I'll just kind of look at them and kind of like use my head and be like, let's go. I'm just walking with this big bag.
Is there a fountain outside the bank?
Yeah, there are. I mean, this bank is essentially part of the Starport concourse. So yes, there are a number of fountains, green areas that are in the middle of this concourse, and on either side, it's almost like walking through a mall. There are shops up and down. There are a number of places to eat. There's an Astro Burger. There's a Brewhouse Tavern here, which this is the Brewhouse Tavern. It's kind of where this all started. There's an Advantage Hotel here. Just a number of shops. There's even an Instel Arms merchant.
Well, while we were waiting outside, Audrey was drinking from the fountain.
Oh, yes, yes. Typical Vargur behavior. So, you guys get back to Skander, and basically, as you step up into the Skander's cargo bay, is the Skander. And I need to put Audrey on here. We'll kind of figure out where. Well,
We need to tell the captain we have he has a new employee.
right, right. There is that.
Hey, Svart, you have a bunkmate now.
Right. So these are common areas. But this
That
is
could be true.
this is the Skander. This is, of course, Audrey's first time boarding the merchant cruiser. You probably entered from down here. These two green lines here are docking bays that are frequently opened up. In a lot of cases, in the past, the worlds that Skander has docked at, Magnus Sundstrom, the owner-operator of the Skander, will frequently open these bays up and kind of have an open-air market right out of this cargo hold here and on deck 1. They have crew housing up here on deck 2, up in here. You can pick any stateroom you want. Zerzy, of course, has picked one of the luxury staterooms. Being a diplomat, he's kind of the
Spoiled child.
Yeah, evidently.
He's our spoiled child. Of course, you can read our minds and blow them. You can read our minds and blow them up too.
Right? Yes, I can blow up your mind with my brain. So yeah, a couple of the crew members are kind of looking at the Vargur, wondering, who's that? And you make your way into the ship. What's your? Yeah, you said you need to talk to Magnus about bringing Audrey on.
Vart, do you want to do that while I go split up all this money in my room and leave you guys each a large paycheck?
Certainly.
All right. Okay. So Svart makes his way up to the bridge with Audrey up here. And just off the bridge, there is, of course, Magnus's private office. It's not really shown on the deck plans. And so Svart, you come up, knock on the door, and you hear enter, and Magnus Sundstrom is sitting there behind his desk and kind of looks up. Go ahead and make a recon plus intellect check.
Oh, I knew
you were going to say that.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay. I don't need all that. There. Get a 9.
So he He seems to be a little bit in a, I guess, slightly irritated mood, but um, also at the same time, you get the impression that um, his mood is quickly changing, and he says, "Oh yes, yes, please come in, come in. Who's your friend?"
This is Audrey.
Oh, welcome, Audrey.
Audrey, we were on an independent mission just a little while ago, and we found Audrey on a ship, and she had been kidnapped.
He said, "Well, that's outrageous."
And we rescued her, and she would like to come along with us and be part of your crew. She is a mechanic.
He says, "Is that so?" Uh,
I'm good at. Hi, I'm Audrey. I'm good at fixing things.
he says, "Have you functioned as a mechanic aboard any other ships?"
Oh no, only on a planet.
Well, he says, "We can always use a mechanic. I'm sure that we can find some place for Audrey." And he gives you the same sign-on bonus that he gave them. And so he reaches under his desk, and there is a safe under his desk that he opens, and he pulls out, and he says, the sign-on pay is 2,500 or 2,500 credits, and you will receive another 2,500 credits, as well as a percentage of profit sharing when we reach the end of our voyage. So you can add 2,500 credits to your character immediately.
Okay, let me go to my inventory. Okay, so cash on hand, I set that to 2,500.
Yeah, plus whatever you already have, of course. Unless you spend
Sir,
everything.
I was wondering if you know of a planet on our route that we can get a neural jack.
Oh, you're gonna ask Magnus about that? So, that's
I mean, I'm gonna have to be in bedridden for a while, right?
well. Let's see here. The next stop on the route is Debare, but it's only tech level 9, and he tells you, he says, the next stop. I was planning on giving everybody on the crew, each individual 3 days of leave time, and we'll be there for a total of 10 days. And so, and he says, the crew needs to have a little bit of downtime, and so Debare, being a tech level 9 world, and mostly being a high port, I felt that was a good place for people to spend some downtime. Astaltine is tech level 10. I guess I should look. Where was I at here? In the completely wrong spot. Head. So it would need to be a 13 or higher if you're looking for a neural track. Um, so yeah, Astaltine is a Class B starport that will, after the stop at Debare, he says they're planning on being, and he really does say um, that Astaltine, they are planning to be there How long is this going to have you down? Medical treatment. Often requires extensive surgery. Assume that any reputable augments dealer will have access to first-class hospital services. Be no actual danger in the process. However, it will take time, typically 1D weeks. Although this can often be reduced with the use of slow drug. So, I mean, with the slow drug, if you go to a reputable dealer, the slow drug, it's 30 times, it increases your metabolism and aging to around 30 times normal for 1 day. So, I mean, you can easily cut that into a third. So you're only going to be down, what, 2,
1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah. So if you are requesting that, he thinks that at Asseltine, he thinks that that can be arranged.
Thank you, sir.
So, and I mean, not only that, but Asseltine's a good port to do that at because Scander will probably be there for a little bit longer amount of time because it is. I will show you where Asseltine is. So Asseltine is here. You are currently at Iterati. They're going to skip Raleigh, going straight to Debari, and then to Asteltine. And then from Asteltine, they're going to make a stop at Enos. And he tells you he kind of wants you and your crewmates to be in your best shape when they reach Enos because so Enos is a strange world. It is a Sword Worlds Confederation planet, but if you look at where Enos is, it's way at the end here. So in order to get here, most of the time, either they're going to have to rely on deep space refueling posts, or they're going to have to go the long way around, which usually means skirting the edge of Imperial space, possibly even going through Imperial space in order to get there. And so Enos is a very strange world, and during the Fourth Frontier War, it did have a Sword Worlds or a Sword Worlds naval base there, but that was kind of scaled back with the treaties and whatnot that were signed at the end of the Fourth Succession, or the Fourth, no, wrong game, the Fourth Frontier War, and so it's an important world just for showing the flag, and so he wants all of the crew to be kind of at their best when you reach Enos, and kind of we're going to be showing off the Scander, and you know, we're going to be parading the Sword Worlds Confederation flag, more or less. So Asseltine is perfect. He definitely thinks that he can accommodate you with staying for a couple of weeks on Asseltine.
Thank you.
Zerzy, in your stateroom, you're dividing up the cash.
Oh god, this is I'm gonna die.
No, no, nothing wrong. You unlock the bag, and there's a pile of credits in there. Now, these are Imperial credits. So the Sword Worlds for we've talked about this before, but for Audrey. The golden handshake. They are so the so there are these are imperial credits. The sword worlds. So the 2,500 that you were paid are actually in soldats, which in ancient Rome, a soldat literally translated to, or soldat, literally translated to a piece of money. And so the term soldier is basically, it is a soldier's money. And that is the name of the credit that is used by the Sword Worlds Confederation. There is no real exchange rate detriment to them. Of course, the further into Imperial, especially along the border around the Sword Worlds Confederation, soldats and Imperial credits are basically exchanged synonymously. If you were to go further into the Imperium, pretty much there would be some kind of exchange fee, usually around 5%, to turn those soldats into Imperial credits, but you don't have to worry about it here on the borders around the Sword Worlds Confederation. They're exchanged synonymously. So, Zerzy,
Yes.
are you being honest and giving out even amounts?
Yep. Every person, all three of us, will receive 130,000 credits.
Okay, you guys can add 130,000 credits to your cash on hand.
Okay.
Now that
I mean, I
could
could
buy
be
a
mean,
lot of
but
augments. I mean, to be honest.
see, I already am planning to spend some of that money in this ship as soon as I have the free time.
Sure.
Because I need to go find a certain Imperial scout who is a little bit of a sneaky bastard that I'm friends with.
Okay. So I need to find him. I always forget his name.
I have no idea what his name is. He's just guy who is an Imperial spy.
Yes.
Well, he's a scout officially, I think, or intelligence officer or something. I don't know what his official title is.
He is. Well, I'll tell you in just a second. Her layout for this book leaves a lot to be desired.
We don't have to worry about his name. We all know who we're talking about.
Kurt Voss.
Kurt Voss.
He is. These guys. So he is this guy that is a member of the crew. Nobody can really pinpoint down what his actual job is, and he is what initially. When they've initially met him, he basically is adept at blending in. Nobody really pays much attention to him. He spends a lot of his time alone. Come to find out, the reason for that is that he is a naval intelligence operative. Now, they don't know. Nobody. So Magnus, they took this to Magnus Sundstrom, and Magnus said he is aware. It never really was brought up. A naval intelligence officer for who? The answer to that is that he is actually a naval intelligence officer for the Sword Worlds Confederation. And he is basically the only person that is listening to Magnus. So, a little bit of backstory. Magnus, excuse me, Magnus has gone to Imperial Intelligence, or not Imperial Intelligence. He's gone to Sword World's intelligence a number of times, to the Naval Intelligence, telling them that he fears that there is a buildup of forces. That the Imperium is building up its navy along the borders of the Sword Worlds. He fears that something is coming. And the Admiralty of the Sword Worlds Confederation Navy has basically, they didn't even bother to laugh at him. They just outright have ignored him. Kurt Voss is the only intelligence operative that is really kind of listening to what Magnus has said, and he is aboard the ship to keep his eye out to confirm or not necessarily deny, but to confirm or that Magnus is right, or to confirm that no, this is ridiculous. Most of the Admiralty of the Sword Worlds Confederation Navy kind of feels that Magnus is acting in a paranoid manner. No, there is no war where the Imperium is not likely. They've never done an initial strike to start a war with the Sword Worlds Confederation. I mean, we don't like them, but there's nothing to state that in their opinion, there's nothing to state that that they are coming over to attack. And part of this merchant cruise that Skander is on, and part of what he wants in every port, and he would of course tell Audrey this when he hired her, that essentially when you're in port, you should be looking for deals to make, and these guys are kind of authorized to use ship funds to do kind of speculative trade, or if they find something that they think they can pull a profit on further down the line. And they have access to ship funds to bring on and offload that cargo. And of course, the more profit that Skander makes, the more money you'll make in percentage at the end of the entire run. So it's kind of in your best interest. The other thing that he has everybody doing is, while you are in port, keep your ear to the ground and kind of pursue any rumors or anything that you hear as far as intelligence gathering. And once the cruise is all done, this intelligence, you guys can go through it, and then either he's going to be right that there's some kind of military buildup along the border, or not. And so he wants you to get as much information as possible. But Kurt Voss is kind of here keeping an eye on Magnus, and more or less trying to confirm that either Magnus is an ancient alien's kook, or that no, there's something to this, and maybe the Imperials are ramping up.
So yeah, I will try to find him and then just invite him to come to my stateroom. We need to have a quick little meeting.
Okay, so yeah, you bring him to your stateroom. What are you what's your meeting about?
Basically, I'm gonna be sitting at my desk. I've got a mountain of credits sitting next to me, sitting there on my computer, and when he comes in, be like, long time no see. Although I've got some juicy information for you and for the Sword Worlds, but I have a favor to ask of you.
Okay.
Well, I kind of show him my computer. It's all locked up right now. But I'm like, I went out and spent like 60,000 credits making a supercomputer, basically.
Yes, he says that that's an important rig. Can it play Crisis?
It can play Crisis 2.
It can play Crisis 2. Or I guess can it play Borderlands? Does it have an 8-core processor to play Borderlands 4? Fucking ridiculous. Anyways.
Well, I got 20. I got a couple of 24 core CPUs.
I do too. I've got a rack server back there that's got a dual 24 core Xeon processors in it.
I've managed
I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but
Yeah, exactly.
I was using it for crypto, but it takes more electricity to run them than you make.
Right. Yes.
I have every program I could imagine and needing,
Okay.
except I need something that can hack. Now, I know that you're an intelligence. I'm sure, because I've seen your computer. I haven't been on it, but I know you have one. I'd be willing to bet you have some hacking tools on there. And I propose a trade that you install your hacking tools on mine, and if mine is more powerful than yours, you can use it sometimes. But I have to tell you about this mission we just did for all these credits that you see next to me, because this is something the Sword World's going to want to know.
So that's what your trade is the information.
And something physical, because they weren't taken from us. And I'm going to reach into my stuff and show him 8 vials of combat drugs. These are 4 samples of each type of some combat drugs that a certain pharmaceutical company was building with a contract to the Imperial Navy. And on my computer is all the reports of all these chemicals, what they can do, what happens if you mix them all together. Essentially, how to create super soldiers or cannibalistic monsters that are super strong if mixed incorrectly. And this is a gold mine of intelligence for you, I'm sure. If you want to look through them, feel free to. But consider it the first major information that we found that, well, it's not exactly a fleet amassing on Soul World's border. If they are contracting with pharmaceutical companies to make super impressive combat drugs, why would you need new combat drugs?
Interesting. Let me look over here. So he says that is a very interesting piece of intelligence that you have gathered. And he says, yes, I do have some intrusion software. He says, but he says that it is a part of Sword World's naval intelligence, of course. He says technically, technically he could get in trouble for letting you have that.
Well, I will technically.
It would be considered like a security leak.
You could just simply say I took it.
So,
think of it this way: I am going to let you download all these files, and you are going to pour through them, and then you're going to be chomping at the bit to get more intel. This is going to make you seem like a superstar to Sword World intelligence.
Go ahead and make a persuasion plus intellect, a persuasion plus social check, and I'm going to give you. You're right. This data is juicy, and I will give you a plus. You can make it with a boon. Roll 3 and take the 2 highest.
$11.
Ooh.
Yes. So he says, yeah, I think that's a pretty good trade. And so he reaches into, or he pulls out a wafer, slots it into his portable, and copies over. You can add intrusion /2. It is tech level 11. And it says
that's reasonably good for Sword World.
Right. Yeah, that's as high as it's going to go for Sword World. But it. Hold on, I'll just do that. No. That's better. Blow it up a bit so we can actually read it.
So intrusion 2, tech level 11.
Yeah, so it says DM equal to its bandwidth, so it'll give you a +2 on hacking. Allergies are killing me tonight. And so show this to the world.
Okay. I guess the last thing I'll say one last thing, then I'll shut up for a while. I promise.
Go ahead. No, you're fine.
Is I'll tell him, I'll say, in order to get back here with this stuff, I set up a dead man switch, and right now the timer's ticking. If you
Sure.
think it's wise, I could stop it, or I can cause chaos, and all this intel will be sent to the news and to the Imperial Navy.
So he tells you that he kind of raises his eyebrows and laughs a little bit, and he tells you that really it would likely be unhealthy for you to do
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you want me to stop it, I can stop it, or I can let it go.
that.
I was planning to stop it, but you're the intelligence officer.
I mean, are you giving this data to him as well?
Well, yeah, I'm giving him the entire package. I'll
Okay.
put it onto his data pad, so he's able to
Yeah,
read
he-
and analyze everything.
I mean, so in his opinion, it would be better for you to disable that.
Okay,
Because twofold. One, this is GC intelligence. And so, of course, now it is in the Sword World's naval intelligence's hands, and they're going to want to go over it, and they don't want anybody to know about it either. So if it gets sent to Iterati's system network and is broadcast by the media companies, then everybody in the Iterati system is going to know about it, and then they're going to take it and leave, and then people are it's a bad idea. So yeah, he and like he said, if this were to hit the networks, whoever this guy that hired you was, corporations rarely play nice, and so there would be some retribution for that.
Yeah.
Likely bigger retribution than you can handle.
And as a sign of trust, for trust and for my safety, I'm gonna probably delete all the data off of the backups and off of my computer, so you'll have the only copy.
Okay. He kind of shakes your hand and he says, trust goes both ways, so I'll take your word for it. I mean, you can show him that you're deleting it. That doesn't mean that you've deleted all copies of it. But he's trusting you.
Yeah, I'll stop the dead man and delete the copies off of the Skander's secondary ships and delete it off of my computer and tell him to make sure he makes a backup. And
yeah, yes, he will. So yeah, he gives you the wafer with intrusion 2 on it, and it takes.
I'll say,
takes your data.
Should we tell Magnus about all this, or keep it more hush hush?
Definitely. I mean, that's a really good question. So Kurdavos is in. He's in the know. He knows what Magnus is doing, and he knows that Magnus is trying to kind of suss out intelligence on his own. In his opinion, in this case, you should include it with your normal intelligence briefing.
All right, so I'll save deleting it off my computer. I'm gonna go show Magnus real quick, and then I will.
So he basically tells you, he says you should include it with your normal intelligence briefing, because he says either Magnus is right and there is some kind of imperial military buildup, in which case that could pose a problem for the Confederation. Or uh, this is Magnus is a complete wackadoodle and a conspiracy theorist, and this could be used as a way to end his career, but or at least end his career as a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? Because this has nothing to do with anything, and now he's guilty, basically guilty of having classified information. So it could work either way.
Do you want these files here, Kurt?
The on
The combat drugs.
Oh yeah, he wants them. He's going to send them up to his higher ups.
I'll also say Svart has one of each. Also, he may have forgotten that he put them in his pocket a long time ago, but he's got one of each.
My evidence bag.
He's gonna snort them later. You go to Kurt's quarters. He's got a rubber band around his arm. I'm gonna shoot up some combat drugs.
Yeah,
Why do you think I took them?
I'll take 2 smaller bags full of credits and walk to the captains and try to find Svart, Audrey, and the captain, and give them their money and give him the intel.
Okay. Sorry, the little outdoor cat that we feed is sitting right under my window, yelling at me. Are you gonna feed me yet? So Skander
Didn't feed him yet.
No. Well, she wasn't around yet. She'll get fed here in just a little bit.
Come on, Eve.
So
Yeah.
So Skander starts to
Look, you came.
Skander makes its way out of port and sets course for its next stop at Debare, and they make jumps. So during this week, there is 1 week in jump space. You can select. So this is for Audrey. Both Svart and Zerzi, you can add a week to your study period. Audrey, you can pick a skill that you are wanting to study. Now, a study period is an 8-week period, and this is something that you will be studying during your week in jump. I mean, you can use other times, but the jump space downtime is the best time to kind of study that. And at the end of 8 weeks, you can then make usually it's an education check to gain that skill. So if it's a skill that is brand new, that you've never had before, you would gain it at 0 at the end of 8 weeks if you succeed on an 8+ education check. It is also 8 weeks if you're going from a skill that is 0 to 1. Beyond that, going 1 to 2, you would need 2 8-week periods. And we do it so that you roll that skill plus education at the end of each 8 weeks, so you're not basically wasting everything at the end of the entire period. So you would have to do 2 8-week periods. So from 2 to 3, it would be 3 8-week periods, etc. And so you just pick whatever you want.
4 would be the rest of the campaign.
Right. Yes. So right. Yeah. It's got a built-in limit to what is feasible. You can also increase. I believe you can. Well, no, it's only good for skills. Really, if you want to increase attributes like your characteristics, really the only way that you're going to do that is by getting augment. I mean, you're only as strong as you are. I mean, I suppose you could go on some kind of workout routine and maybe gain a +1, but more realistic that you would probably go under the knife and get an augmentation. And so, that is how that works. So, what skill do you want to pick, Audrey?
Engineering.
Good idea.
How do I record that on my character sheet?
So on your character, that's a very good question.
First pay prime and then study period in the upper right-hand corner.
There
Just
you
go.
Okay,
You're on.
I see that. So, or I wrote engineering under the skill, and then what do I put for weeks and periods?
It would be. Let me look at your sheet. So you got engineering periods. You would put 7, and weeks you would put
Okay,
1.
7. And weeks I'd put 1. Okay,
And so
I
then,
did that.
the next time that you go into jump and you're studying, you would add a second week, and that period would go down to 6. So,
Oh, all right.
and so, so you're studying engineering during the week. The captain also, they're so in addition, and you can add this under notes. So
Mm-hmm.
the captain has kind of instituted kind of a cross training program, and so like right now, Zerzy is I believe you're learning piloting. Is that right?
Yeah, some reason they want the old man to know piloting and engineering.
Right. So so Zerzy is learning piloting. What was Svart learning? Engineering. Right.
Think so.
And so, um, what other skill would you like to learn? You could learn to be an astrogator, to plotting courses. You could learn broker skills. Basically, Magnus would take you under his wing, trying to teach you some brokering skills. And this is kind of on the job training that is done in this week. So there's a second skill that you can put under notes, that you will learn at the end of this 8-week period as well for on the job training. Is there anything else that you could even put vac suit. I don't know if do you have you've got vac suit 0, don't you?
No, I don't
I
think
don't.
so.
No.
No.
Yeah, well that might be a good one to get. Is maybe just have on the job training learning vac suit.
Hey, Svart, Audrey can run your still now.
That's right.
I have a still, Audrey. Would you like to help me run it? You're a mechanic.
Yeah, I'll help you run it.
Does Vargar's like alcohol?
Beer.
I don't think I ever had it before.
We make pub ale. Brown ale, English pub ale. Good stuff. Drink it warm.
I've never met
You drink it warm.
I've never met a dog that didn't like beer. Never. Not once.
We'll find out if Audrey likes beer.
So yeah, I mean you can pick another skill. Like I said, vac suit. I mean, so weird. A game where most of the time the characters are spending their days in space, and yet vac suit isn't isn't an automatic skill. Almost every character that I get, if I get to pick a background, so I'm like, oh, vac suit, yeah, I'm taking vac suit 0. Give me that. So yeah, you could pick vac suit. You could pick astrogation if you wanted to learn how to be an astrogator. Basically, charting courses between between star systems. Any choice?
Let's see. Okay, astrogation. Let's see. Oh, well. Oh, well, yeah, that's based on education, so I could take that.
Yeah, intellect or education.
Okay, I pick astrogation.
Okay, so at the end of 8 weeks, not only will you get engineering 0 on a successful education check, but you will automatically get astrogation 0 at the end of the 8 weeks, and you don't have to make a check for the astrogation. They're making sure that you are being taught this.
Excellent.
Oddly, if I remember correctly, in Classic Traveler way back in the day, there was a education skill so that you could teach another character a skill that you already knew, and that would give them a bonus. For some reason, that seems missing, but I mean, it's not really that hard to teach somebody how to do something that you know very well, in my opinion. So we're just going to go with that. And not to mention the fact that there are software packages like the personal trainer package that can assist you in learning, and it gives you a +1 to your education check at the end of your 8 weeks. So, and they do have those packages aboard. Was it this game? I want to say yes. I'm going to look. It might have been my Friday night game. Personal trainer on page 71. Derp, I was right there. So yeah, it's a modified digital friend package that basically aid in education, gives you a +1. It's tech level 11. So yes, that software would be available in the main computer of the scanner, and kind of give you an assistance in learning whatever it is that you're going to learn. So Audrey is now a part of Scander's crew. And you guys spend a week.
Yay.
You guys spend a week in Jump. And you come out in the Dabari system. So this is Dabari. It is. Let me give you a rundown on world info. So it has a Class B starport. It is about 12,800 kilometers in diameter, roughly. About the same size as Earth. It's got 1.0 G gravity. It has a thin atmosphere, 0.43 to 0.7 pressure. So depending on where you are at, obviously it'll be probably most comfortable right around sea level, but it can get thinner the higher you go. Being thin, higher elevations, you're going to have and it doesn't have to be exceedingly higher elevation, but at higher elevations with that less pressure, you're going to have a harder time breathing. It's got 36 to 45% hydrographics, and so it is considered a wet world. Not Earth-like, but it is wet. Probably there's going to be small seas and oceans, probably a high rain about. Population, not there's nobody here. Has a population of about 800,000 people. That's it. And it is balkanized. Their government. They are really one. Yeah, that's what it says. So it is a company world. Ruling functions are assumed basically by the managerial elite. Most of the citizens of the world, of this 800,000 people in the population, are employees of the corporation.
I don't want to live there.
Right. Go in debt to the company store. And last but not least, law level. Wait, that can't be right.
It's 14.
Yeah. 854.
Bad breath is banned.
Right. 1, 2, 800,000 people. Oh, I'm sorry. Government's a participating democracy, but it is balkanized, so there are multiple governments across these factions of 800,000 people, and none of them really get along very well. And then it has a law level of 3, which is pretty low. Weapons that are banned, military weapons. So Svart's ACR would be illegal, but your pistols are probably going to be okay. Um, that laser pistol that Zerzy sometimes carries is highly questionable because at law level 2, portable energy and laser weapons are banned. So at level 3, probably not going to be walking around legally with a laser pistol. As far as armor, flak armor, combat armor, and of course battle dress are all banned. But you can wear, cloth or mesh armor or any of that. That's all completely legal. And so,
Cloth armor.
yeah, you can wear cloth armor. Yeah, you can wear the full cloth armor, not just a jacket. You can.
I got both.
Yeah, you can really go wild with cloth armor. Go full rent-a-cop.
I'll just have to use my revolver and my regular rifle.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you bought a regular rifle too. And so, Magnus Sundstrom has kind of decided to bypass Raleigh because, in his opinion, Raleigh is a poor prospect for merchant and trade. Not that Debare is all that much better, but even with the world being balkanized, Debare is considered a rudimentary starport, and that there are ships that are passing through Debare constantly on their way to other locations. And this is a mix of both Imperial and Sword World ships. And so he has decided that Debare is kind of that perfect place to give the crew a little bit of downtime. And so he is planning on spending a total of 10 days in port at Debare's high port, and give each crew member, depending on their watch, basically a full 3 days off. Like, if you want to leave the ship and get a hotel room and party it up on the high port, you are certainly welcome to do so. And so he kind of announces this in the from the jump point to the station is probably a good 8 hours, and so he announces this to the crew, and the crew kind of seems pretty excited at this, and he hopes that he basically tells everybody that he wants everybody to use this as vacation time. This is your downtime to do as you like during your 10 days or during your 3 days off here on this high port. Aside from that, and he kind of pulls you three aside, and he includes Audrey in this because Audrey is kind of attached to you guys now. And he kind of is counting on both Svart and Zerzy to kind of show Audrey the ropes of working on a merchant cruise. Not that you guys are experts, but you've been here longer than she has, and so he wants you to kind of show her around. And he basically tells Zerzy and Svart, he says, I'm going to be honest, there's really not much trade to be had at Debare. But as usual, I would really like you to, collect any intelligence that you can gather, and I would like you to, if you can find anything to trade, by all means, you have the authority to do so, and more or less what we're looking for, and so if you find any deals to be made, you are authorized to do that. But he says, first and foremost, I want you to enjoy your 3 days off. And so,
I was gonna say, I assume he enjoyed the intelligence brief I gave him.
Yeah, he, in fact, roll 2d, and you can add +1 to that.
So a 10.
Okay, so yes, he very, very much liked that intelligence brief. He was very pleased with that intelligence brief, and he basically kind of feels like he's been exonerated. Like, no, I mean, if the Imperials are doing this kind of shit with combat drugs and kind of looking for enhanced versions of combat drugs, that kind of backs everything that he's been saying for a while. That there is some kind of military buildup going on here, and so he's very pleased with that. Zvart, you can roll 2d and you get a +1 to that.
That's my normal roll. 9.
Okay, so he's very pleased with Zvart as well. And Audrey hasn't been here long enough for a roll as of yet. But we will get into that after this week, certainly. And so we are going to pause it here for this week, and let me double check something real quick. Oh, here is DeBarre's high port as you are coming in to dock, and the
Oh my God, it's Star Trek.
yes, it does look a little Star Trekky. And so yeah, they are coming in, and you can, like, up here, I kind of like the way this looks because it looks like, you know, I can imagine all of these holographic ads kind of just hanging out, you know, around where ships are coming in to make port and things like that. And so there are all these holographic ads that are set up, and that you can see out the port or out the windows of Skander as the pilot brings the ship in and sets her down to dock. And so we will begin next week with you guys taking your 3 days liberty in Debari Highport. Let's see what you get up to.
All right. Yep. Sanford.
I got lots of money now.
Yeah, you guys got plenty of money.
Y'all
So
have a lot of money.
I'm sure that you can find some trouble to get into.
Yeah, I'm sure they got a generic bar because I need a couple cases of generic water.
Yeah, you gotta get some canned water. All right, guys. I will see you next week at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Have a good one, guys.